how much money do I need to save monthly so that I can retire in 5 years? This is the question many people ask themselves, but the right question is, how much money do I need to save monthly so that when I invest that money into an asset, that asset is able to generate income that can finance my expenses. So welcome to the podcast. I'm Bright and this is the BB Finance Podcast. So we're going to have this in different parts. So this is going to be the first part. So once you finish the first part, we shall continue the series and continue to build on the knowledge that will make us be able to financially plan for our financial freedom. Thank you. So I'm going to be using Microsoft Excel. So as you're seeing on the screen. So if you don't have Microsoft Excel, this is a simple process. You can use a notebook and probably consider using, if you don't have access to a computer, there's Excel online, because when you are planning things financially, especially in this direction you're taking of financial freedom, you have to keep track of everything. Keeping track on book may also be fine, but you lack some insights. So we shall also be looking how to optimize as things go and as we build on the knowledge. So today we are going to be laying our first block of how much money do we need to save monthly so that we can retire comfortably in 5 or 3 years. So in order to do that, you're going to be using Excel, as I told you. So, but in order to determine the amount of money we need to save monthly so that we can retire in the specified amount of years, we need to know how much money we are spending monthly. So that we came up with the figure of the money that we shall need in case we are to retire on a monthly basis after we are not in the workforce. So that's the first thing you're going to be calculating here, and other financial obligations through the year. So we're going to be using Excel. So normal Excel looks like this. Maybe one of my tabs is hidden. Maybe yours may have it the ribbon always showed like this. So I'll keep it to that also, but I prefer working Excel in the other way around. So I'm going to change my layout a bit. You can change if you're comfortable with this, you can move along with it. But me, I prefer to work on it the other way around. So I'll change this to plain white. Make it to give it a professional look. So I normally prefer this. Let's change it for the whole sheet. So still you can use your preferred. This is just my custom layout I love working with to make things look nice. So we are going to start here by listing our monthly expenses. So we shall put here monthly expenses. So if you're single and you're not married, so you can estimate your monthly expenses in case you to get married, or in case you have already built. So you can estimate them here. But the first one that most of us do, those who are not married or have not yet built, is the amount we spend on rent. So after that, we have our upkeep, our money we use on a daily to-day basis. So that is daily. Then we shall make a full sum of it to represent a monthly basis. Then we have electricity for those who use electricity. So for those who use solar, you can omit that. Then we have data. For example, the data you're using to watch this podcast. Then we have water and emergencies. So this is the money used in case you get an emergency. So sorry, I forgot to put here something like item. Here the amount. So depending on where you are you're paying different rent, so I don't know. So since here I'm working in Ugandan currency, maybe I put here, maybe if you're paying a rent of 200,000, 1, 2, 3. So I'll change this to currency, to accounting, and give it 0 decimal places. So I don't know how much you're using for your groceries every month. So let's say you're also using about 300 on your groceries. 1, 2, 3. Then you go to electricity. Maybe your family may use maybe electricity of maybe 22,000. Then data, depending on your service provider, you may likely to pay around 20 if you're using the cheapest in the country. Probably that's about 20 GBs of data a month. Then also your water consumption may range. So we shall give that a fixed figure of 20 or so for now, according to, actually this is just my assumption, so you know how much you're spending, so you should put the real figures you spend on these particular items. So I'll consider this 20 and I'll keep an emergency of 100. 1, 2, 3. So this will total up to 600. So this is totaling up to 600. So on a monthly basis, you require 600 every month. So after looking at the monthly basis, there are some things that you do annually that they don't normally come monthly. So those ones are next into consideration, because we are going to be looking at how much you need to finance yourself totally when you're not working. So these other expenses also should be included. So we shall do annual expenses. Now, as you know, we have different, so still we shall put the item and the amount. So as you know, they are festive season, let's say Easter. So I don't know how much you spend on Easter, but I'll just give a rough estimate of that. But you should know how much you spend on Easter so that you can be accurate with the amount of money you're supposed to save monthly in order to retire in the amount of time you need. So me, I'll put here 150,000. That's my estimate. I don't know how much you save. You should put there the real value. Change this to this. Then there's X month. X month. I don't know how much. Maybe you spend 200. 1, 2, 3. Then if you have a wife or girlfriend, I don't know how much you're willing to spend on them every year. So you're supposed to include them in this. So then we have a child, in case you have one. How much are you willing to spend on your child every year? So maybe 150. So I think they are good to go. I don't know if I've left out some. So these are some of the things maybe you have to throw parties here and there, but we shall keep it to that. But you can add on as the list goes. So depending on this, So this gives you a rough estimate of 700 every year. This is not a month, but the whole year. So this is monthly. Forget. Have to figure in so you have other expenses. So we didn't include other expenses. So we shall do the item amount. So let's say your child is now going to school fees. I don't know how much you're planning for your child's school fees also. Shall put this at 600 per year. That's a rough estimate. The actual value, you should put the actual value. Then what else in other expenses? So you can put there, you can add the other items. So we shall do the total of this. I'll keep it at that, but you can add any other item here and represent and put the price there and do the sum. So after that, you have your personal financial goals. Personal goals. Let's just name them personal goals. So the item and the amount. So let's say maybe you need to buy land. So you put here the amount of money you expect to buy the land. Let me say 7M. Maybe you have so maybe you need to buy land, other things that you wish to do that are personal. So may have just put here land, but you can add another item. Maybe you need to buy a cow and put it in the village where you already have land, and maybe you want to buy more land. I don't know how much a cow price is. I'll make it to a rough of 1.2. This is not the exact cost of a car, just I'm estimating. So after you have done this is the first block towards your financial planning journey. So we are going to do this to make it an annual based thing. So annually we shall do this, because remember these are months times 12 months. So you will need uh, 7,944,000 only to cover your monthly expenses that are included here. Remember, there are also these other ones. So in total, you will need this plus this. So in total, on your well-being, you will need 8,644,000 shillings per month. This excluding other expenses and personal goals, as all of us we may not have this. So we shall factor out this later on. So based on this, you will require this amount of money every year. In case you stop working now, you should be able to get this amount every year. So the type of investment that you're supposed to invest to generate this amount of next year, we shall talk about it in the next part of the video. So for today we shall stop here. So far this is great progress. So this is going to be our building block. So please save the file so that in the next video when we come back, it will just be a continuation. So we shall factor out all this and see how we're going to financially plan for them as we live and also as we plan for our retirement or what comes after in case our jobs are gone with uncertainty ahead of us. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed or followed us, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We are there at BBB Bright, at BB Bright Finance. Thank you for watching.